The irrelevance crisis. Arnold Schwarzenegger, 63 years old, left California's governorship after 8 years in office. His political career was over. His marriage was imploding publicly after revelation of his affair and secret child. His action movie career seemed finished. He was too old for shirtless heroics, too damaged by scandal for family films, too politically controversial for mainstream studios. For the first time in his adult life, Arnold Schwarzenegger was irrelevant. The media covered him only to discuss his failures. Young audiences didn't know his films. Hollywood had moved on to younger action stars. His political career had ended without clear legacy beyond scandal. Even his accomplishments, Mr. Olympia, Hollywood dominance, governorship, felt like history rather than present relevance. Arnold faced the crisis every aging icon eventually confronts. The world doesn't care about your past achievements. It only cares whether you matter now. At 63, divorced, politically damaged, physically aging, Arnold had to decide: accept graceful retirement or find way to remain relevant in culture that had moved beyond him. He chose relevance. But reinventing himself at 63 required acknowledging everything his previous career had been built on denying. He was old, vulnerable, past his physical prime, unable to compete with younger stars on their terms. The question was whether Arnold could transform his greatest weakness, age, into unexpected strength. Whether the man who'd spent lifetime proving he was unstoppable could find new success by finally admitting he was the strategic assessment. Arnold approached his comeback with the same strategic analysis he'd brought to bodybuilding, Hollywood, and politics. Assess reality brutally. Identify advantages, exploit opportunities others miss. The reality was harsh. At 63, Arnold couldn't credibly play invincible action hero anymore. His body, while still impressive for his age, showed decades of wear, orthopedic issues from extreme training, multiple surgeries, slower recovery, reduced mobility. He couldn't perform stunts he'd done in his 30s and 40s. His brand was complicated. Younger audiences knew him as politician or scandal figure, not action star. His political career had alienated both conservatives, who saw him as Reno, and liberals, who saw him as Republican. His affair scandal had damaged his carefully constructed family man image. But Arnold identified several potential advantages. His name recognition was still massive. Everyone knew Arnold Schwarzenegger, even if they hadn't seen his recent work. His iconic roles, Terminator, Predator, Conan, remained cultural touchstones. His life story, immigrant success, self-made empire, resonated regardless of recent controversies. Most importantly, Arnold recognized emerging trend in Hollywood: nostalgia. Audiences were increasingly interested in legacy characters, franchise revivals, aging heroes making comebacks. His age and past success weren't liabilities. They were potential assets if positioned correctly. The strategy: embrace aging rather than deny it. Play characters explicitly past their prime. Make self-aware films acknowledging his iconic status, while exploring what happens to action heroes when they get old. Transform from ageless icon to elder statesman of action cinema. The Expendables gambit. Sylvester Stallone called Arnold with Proposition, ensemble action film featuring aging action. Stars of 1980s-90s, acknowledging their age while celebrating their legacy. The Expendables would be meta-commentary on action genre, featuring everyone from their generation. Stallone, Arnold, Bruce Willis, Dolph Lundgren, Jet Li, Jason Statham. Arnold had brief cameo in first film church scene with Stallone and Willis. Three aging action legends trading jokes about their past glories. The scene was self-aware, funny, and testing whether audiences wanted to see these icons together. The response was enthusiastic. The Expendables succeeded commercially and culturally, proving appetite existed for nostalgia-driven action celebrating past rather than competing with present. Arnold expanded his role in sequels, appearing more prominently in Expendables 2, 2012, and Expendables 3, 2014. He wasn't leading man anymore. He was part of ensemble, sharing screen time. making self-deprecating jokes about age and past career. The strategy worked. By positioning himself as elder statesman rather than current champion, Arnold found relevance young action stars couldn't challenge. He wasn't competing in same lane, he was creating new category. The legend who acknowledges he's past his prime, but remains formidable. The comeback films between 2013 to 2015. Arnold starred in 3 films testing different comeback approaches. The Last Stand, 2013. Small-town sheriff past his prime facing one final threat. The film explicitly acknowledged Arnold's age. His character was old, slower, relying on experience rather than physical dominance. It was smaller scale, character-driven, self-aware. The film underperformed commercially but received decent reviews. Critics appreciated Arnold's willingness to play against type, vulnerable rather than invincible, human rather than superheroic. Escape Plan, 2013. Prison break thriller co-starring Stallone. Arnold played second lead, shared action sequences, positioned as strategic thinker rather than pure physical force. Again, the approach emphasized intelligence over physicality. Moderate commercial success, suggesting audiences were willing to accept Arnold in age-appropriate roles, but weren't necessarily excited by them. Sabotage, 2014. Dark, violent thriller where Arnold's character was morally ambiguous, physically weathered, psychologically damaged. This was Arnold as serious actor attempting genuinely gritty material. Commercial and critical failure. Audiences apparently wanted Arnold to acknowledge age, but not too dramatically. They'd accept vulnerable Arnold, but not broken Arnold. The line between authentic aging and depressing decline was narrow. The Terminator Return Terminator Genesis offered Arnold chance to return to his most iconic role, but with twist acknowledging his age. His T-800 character had aged, explained through sci-fi premise about synthetic skin aging over decades, explicitly making his physical decline part of the narrative. The approach was clever. Arnold could be recognizably himself, aged and weathered, while still playing literal machine designed to be unstoppable. The role accommodated his physical limitations while maintaining character essence. Genesis underperformed and received mixed reviews, but Arnold's performance was praised. He'd found way to continue Terminator franchise while acknowledging reality of being 67 years old. 2019's Terminator, Dark Fate continued this approach. Arnold playing age T-800, who lived decades among humans, developed personality and emotional depth, acknowledged his obsolescence in face of newer models. The character arc mirrored Arnold's career arc, legendary figure past his prime, but finding new purpose through adaptation. The Netflix pivot. Arnold recognized theatrical box office wasn't necessarily best venue for comeback anymore. Streaming platforms offered different opportunities, global reach, algorithm-driven recommendations, niche audience targeting that theatrical distribution couldn't provide. Netflix partnership beginning in 2017 gave Arnold new platform, reaching younger audiences who'd never seen his theatrical work. Series like Fubar, 2023, positioned Arnold in action comedy role, explicitly acknowledging his age spy past his prime, dealing with family drama, making jokes about being old. The streaming approach eliminated box office pressure, allowed more experimental content, provided steady work without needing massive theatrical success. Arnold could maintain relevance through volume and accessibility rather than blockbuster hits. More importantly, streaming introduced Arnold to a generation that had never seen Predator or Total Recall theatrically. His back catalog became evergreen content on streaming platforms, creating new audiences discovering classic films decades after release. The social media strategy. Arnold embraced social media with surprising effectiveness, building massive following through authenticity and humor. His Instagram and Twitter became platforms for fitness advice, political commentary, self-deprecating jokes, motivational content, behind-the-scenes glimpses. The strategy was brilliant. Instead of competing with younger stars in their domain, new blockbusters, current roles, Arnold dominated different space inspirational elder figure, fitness icon, self-aware celebrity who acknowledged his age while maintaining relevance. His social media presence humanized him in ways traditional publicity never had. Fans saw Arnold working out, with visible age and physical limitations. Spending time with animals, his miniature horse and donkey became social media celebrities, making pancakes, riding bicycle around neighborhood. This wasn't carefully constructed movie star image, it was accessible. Genuine persona that acknowledged Arnold was 70-plus-year-old man trying to stay fit and relevant. The vulnerability was relatable, the persistence inspiring. His responses to online criticism were masterful. When trolls mocked his age or physical decline, Arnold responded with humor and grace that made critics look petty. He'd weaponized vulnerability, making his age and limitations part of his appeal rather than weakness to hide. The legacy management. Arnold carefully cultivated his legacy through multiple channels. Documentary appearances. Arnold Netflix documentary, 2023, gave comprehensive look at his life, career, failures. By controlling his narrative through authorized documentary, Arnold shaped how his story would be remembered. Political commentary. He remained visible on environmental issues, voting rights, democracy. His Republican credentials gave him credibility criticizing Republican Party's direction, positioning him as elder statesman above partisan politics. Business ventures. Continued investments in green technology, fitness products, real estate. His wealth meant he didn't need acting income, allowing him to choose projects strategically rather than desperately. Philanthropy. After-school programs, environmental initiatives, Special Olympic support. He repositioned from controversial figure to philanthropic elder statesman. The strategy transformed Arnold from damaged celebrity trying to reclaim past glory into elder figure who made mistakes, learned from them, and was using experience to contribute positively. The narrative shift was complete, from unstoppable to resilient, from perfect to human. The final truth, at 76 years old, Arnold Schwarzenegger has achieved something remarkable, remaining relevant decades past his physical and commercial prime. He's not the biggest action star, he's the surviving legend of action cinema's golden age. His comeback wasn't about recapturing past success, it was about finding new success, appropriate to his age and circumstances. He didn't deny aging, he weaponized it. He didn't hide vulnerability, he made it relatable. He didn't pretend to be what he once was, he became something new. The strategy required humility Arnold had rarely shown during his dominant years. He had to admit he was old, slower, unable to do what he'd once done effortlessly. That admission that finally, after a lifetime of denying limitations, Arnold Schwarzenegger acknowledged he had limits was paradoxically what made him relevant again. Young action stars can be physically impressive. Only Arnold can be Arnold, the immigrant who became champion, star, governor, survived scandals, accepted aging, and remained standing when many contemporaries had retired or died. His current work isn't critically acclaimed blockbusters. It's streaming series, ensemble roles, social media content, legacy management. But it keeps him visible, relevant, inspiring to audiences who appreciate persistence over perfection. The inspiration, Arnold's late career comeback, offers unexpected inspiration. Success isn't permanent, but neither is failure. Reinvention is possible at any age if you're willing to acknowledge reality and adapt strategy. The qualities that made you successful in one era might need modification for another era. At 73, Arnold is still terminating not bad guys in action films, but irrelevance itself. His enemy isn't alien predators or killer robots. It's the cultural tendency to dismiss aging icons as past their relevance. He's winning by refusing to accept that cultural dismissal. Not through denying age or clinging desperately to past glory, but through strategic adaptation and authentic acknowledgement of who he is now rather than who he once was. The comeback king isn't the same Arnold who dominated 1980s-90s action cinema. He's older, slower, scarred by failures and surgeries. But he's still Arnold Schwarzenegger, still strategic, still persistent, still refusing to quit. He'll be back. At 73, he already is.